It's EnergyBob.com, a virtual plethora.
Okay, today we're going to make Éclairs, French Éclairs, and I'm going to start off with making pastry cream. Get that to cooling. I have 3 quarts of milk. This is 3 times what's in my book. 3 quarts of milk. I got 6 ounces of sugar, and I'm going to do 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. And I need to get that going on the heat because I want to bring that to a boil. And let's give that a little stir just to mix it through. And I got 15 yolks. And I got 6 ounces of sugar, 6 ounces of cornstarch, 6 ounces of flour, and 4.5 ounces of butter to finish. And when I add the sugar, cornstarch, and flour, I start with the sugar because that kind of turns into like a liquid. You want to blend all this together with the yolks. And it's easier to blend all these 3 this way, one at a time, and then throw it all in. And going from there. And just kind of take it easy. Get that in. Nice and blended. And then you can add the flour. And if you want, you can sift it. Make it a little easier to blend it there. This is all-purpose flour. Okay. Now what we're waiting for is the milk to come to a boil. And while we're waiting, you don't want to stir it. What you want to happen is some milk solid proteins are going to build up on top. It's going to form a little insulation. It's going to bring it up quicker. So you really don't want to do anything like that. And then we'll get to the next step as soon as that starts. Okay, you can see the edges are starting to boil, starting to rise. Here it comes. Okay, that's good. Now kill the heat. Dump about 1/3 in the yolks. Stir it up. You're tempering the yolks here. You're getting the yolks used to the milk. Dipping the toe in the pool, as it were. If you added it all at once, if I just dumped the yolks in there, they would have scrambled up and would not been very smooth. And then you just put these in here. Put that there. Like that. It's already almost thick there. See that? Okay. That's good. Now, in goes the bouteille. And that'll give it a nice, smooth, creamy, velvety texture. Better melting a little bit more. I can probably use this, put this on here now. That's good. Okay. Now the reason I like to use vanilla bean in this is because it's specifically vanilla flavor. Yeah. It's specifically vanilla flavor, and so that makes it okay. I think I have enough for just one. There we go. Get all that goodness in there. Okay. Then I'm going to smooth it out. Get it as flat as you can. You don't want divots. Okay. I'll just get a little piece of plastic here. Now, this prevents a crust from forming on top. Unless you like pudding skins. Okay. Now if you see any big holes, push them to the side. You can push the holes together. Air bubbles. Because if you leave those bubbles there, that crust is going to form right there as well, and that creates lumps, and you don't want lumps. Okay, that goes in the fridge. All right. Okay, now we're going to do the crust. The official French name for that is pâte à jus. That's that's the title of the recipe in the book, so it'll be on the website too. And so I have 8 ounces of butter, 8 ounces of water, and 8 ounces of milk, and you want a nice stiff wooden handle for this operation here. And then I got 12 ounces of flour, sprinkling a little salt, and I have 10 eggs, and I put it in a tall container. Happens to be a pound actually, and just in case there's any shells that got in there, they'll fall to the bottom, and this way you can decant them in. Well, you'll see that when that goes in here. And I got a mixer going with a paddle, piping bag, sheet pans, make the Éclairs shells. I'll show you a couple of different shapes, and we'll get to that as soon as this gets to a boil, because we're looking for that to boil, and then we'll get into the meat of the operation here. Okay, the last chunks of butter have melted down, and we're getting some bubbling on the sides, just like we saw on the pastry cream. The bubbles are starting to come in. You want to bring this to a nice good boil. Okay, dump all the flour at once. Kill the heat here. Just beat the lumps out of it. Just beat the crusties out of it. Okay. That's good. And I didn't want to do that yet. Got a head start on it. Okay, now blend this just a little bit so that a lot of the initial heat can escape. You can probably go a little faster than that if you want, so you don't scramble the eggs when you add it. There we go. Most of the steam's gone. Go low. Add half the eggs. Let them get absorbed. Some recipes will say 2 at a time or 1 at a time, but you can do it this way too. Half the eggs and the next half of the rest, half of the rest. Okay. that together. There we go. Next half. The main reason you do it slow is so it doesn't spatter around, otherwise you can get it incorporated. Alright, so it all went in. What you really want to do is hold one back. See that? Woo! There it is. What you really want to do is hold one back and check the viscosity because the way it came out of the pan, though, I could see that it was going to be fine because it was. And get your spatula. Get it down in there. Yeah, this is going to be fine, I can tell. Give it a little bit stir. Okay. Now, at this point, if you have to go away for any length of time, you can smooth out the top, cover it with plastic, and half an hour, maybe even an hour later, you can come back and still do it. So, go with that. Yeah. See how it's holding its shape, but it just sinks a little bit. Okay. Now I have a French tip. I like to use the star tips because it helps with expansion. Helps control the cracking when and expansion of the. Oops. Just hit the camera. So now. Get your bag ready. And now get all the farts out. The classic one. Now these are going to end up to be like finger size, which is what I'm doing here. Okay. Or you can do something like for Valentine's Day. That. Now that's half of that, the shell. Sometimes I'll do that, make like a seashell. Like that, well, maybe not that long. There we go, that's a little better. And I'll put like a seafood salad inside there. What else? Paprika breast. Circles. Okay. There you go, and then the profiteroles. Now on a round one, kind of just let it come out and snap it off. Okay. Alright. Boom! Now you got some water. And you kind of just dip in just to smash these little points down. Like that. Anything that water just keeps your finger from sticking to it. You don't want to. There you go. These right here. The hearts are fine. You want the points there. Okay. I'll put these in the oven. About 360 or so. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Okay. Okay. I just spun them. See how they're starting to puff up. Okay, and they're not even sticking. Oh, that's good. They're still too light though. Okay, let's see how they're doing. starting to get color. See that right here? Except that they're not consistent yet. You want that color all the way around, all throughout the cracks. That's what we're looking for, but they're looking good. There they are. I'm gonna switch. Let's spin that one. There we go. Alright. Okay, let's check them again. Yeah, they're getting better. It's taking a little longer than I'm used to because of the home stuff, but we'll get there. Alright. Okay, I think we're there. Now, the edges could maybe be a little bit closer, but they're holding up. And also, you want to listen to it. If you hear the crackling, you're good. These are finished crackling, so these are alright. We'll put the rest of them in there now. Check the other one. Those could probably go a little bit more. I don't know if you can hear it there. We'll find out. Alright. I'll bring those out right now, too. And look at the new batch in. And next we'll fill them. Next we'll fill them and top them.
We will return to our program after this word from our sponsor.
The preceding and following video is brought to you by the cookbook from which the video is based. Intuitive Cooking, How to Use Your Intuition to Make What You Cook Your Own. Gleaned from a lifetime of interest and 34 years of professional experience in premium properties. There are over 220 easy-to-read, full-page recipes, many with variations, descriptions with tips and techniques used by pros all over the world, including some that are not taught in cooking school. It's designed to be a workbook so you can adjust any recipe for your own tastes. A number 2 pencil with a good eraser is highly recommended. There are no pictures that would interfere with developing your own intuition while cooking. Go to itsenergybob.com, select the culinary page, and order yours today. It's just $17.50.
And now, back to our program.
Okay, we're going to fill the Éclairs. And a little pastry tip. You want a decent sized hole because this is pretty thick. See how it peels right off? There we go. So I also have my chocolate getting started to melt. Want it nice and slow and low, and you don't want to damage the chocolate. So now we have our pastry cream. Blend it up a little bit. Get a nice, don't fill the bag more than you can handle with one hand. Just out. Watch how nice this is going to go. Jam in the hole. And you can see, you can feel the difference. You can feel that it's full. And if you see it bulging, then there's another sign that it's full. Okay, a little bit more on this side. You can also feel it balance. Okay, we're just going to keep doing this until they're full. And if it pops out a little bit like that, just kind of level it off. There you go. Okay. And I'll just keep doing this. Okay. We're going to dip the chocolate now. Now, as long as it took me to fill these, this chocolate melted just by hot tap water. However, there's still a few chunks in there, so I put it at a little bit of low and watch it really close, just to get it a little bit more liquidy and smooth, etc. So now you hold. If you got fingernails, it's all good for that. You do like this, just to barely touch. Let it drip, and then catch the drip, just like that. Go to the sides. Sometimes they can be slippery, so if you have the nails. Just like that. Tilt it one way, and you got the excess dripped off, just like that. Alright. And I'll just keep these going. Now, sometimes I'll just fill in that gap so it doesn't look so sparse. There you go. Alright.
It's EnergyBob.com, a virtual plethora